Today I'm going to be reviewing the FNaF X HEX Wave 3 toy collection of plushies, and these recently came out actually, and I only got them in the mail just yesterday. I decided to, record this review and speak my opinion and what I think of them, and to see if they're really worth the $220 you have to buy them for on the HEX store. So without further ado, let's just get on with the review already. So first off, they come with these really cool collectible cards that have some really awesome art on it. This first one is of Toy Freddy. The second is of Toy Bonnie in what looks to be the vent. The art on these cards are just really good, and I think the artist who made these did a really awesome job. The third card is of Chica next to a party pal holding her cupcake, and again another phenomenal job from the artist. And lastly, we have Balloon Boy holding his balloon with his balloon sign. So let's move on to the plushies next. Every plushie comes inside of a separate bag that looks just like this. These bags are pretty cool and they have the faces of the characters in the wave. So the first plush we're going to review is Toy Freddy. He comes with a small little microphone accessory that you can detach with the magnet. It has a red/pink strap around the black handle with some embroidery on the top gray part. Although this design isn't accurate to the games, I think this decision was made to make it look different than the original HEX Freddy plush's microphone. Now onto Toy Freddy himself. So the first thing that I noticed while looking at this plush is the tag. It's a hard cardboard type material, and it's a lot different than the original Wave 1's tag. Wave 1 of the HEX plushies had this really not so good material for the tag. It always came in bent for not just me but for everyone, and here's what it looked like. Yeah, it's not really that good. Anyways, let's take a look at Freddy's head. So the first thing that you can see is that he has a magnet on the bottom of his head to attach to the body. He has a top hat with a red strap on it. I don't know if this is an issue for just mine, but it doesn't look like it's all the way in the bottom like in the games, but it's not really that big of an issue. It's just something that I noticed. Something else that I noticed is that he actually has a mouth, but it's on the way bottom of his snout, and you can barely see it from the front. This too is not that big of an issue. It's just something that I wanted to point out. So I'm gonna put the head back and take a look at the rest of the detail on this plush. He has a big bow tie with 2 black buttons on the front. He also has a little tail on the back. He also has this really big tag that kinda just gets in the way, but it's alright. While I tear Freddy limb from limb, I just wanted to point out his rosy red cheeks and the orange coloring on his body. I also really like the detail of the black stitching on his belly area, and it makes it look like he was actually sewn together. He has like a bumpy, scratchy looking material, but I promise it's actually really soft. He has detailing on his hands and feet, which is a really nice touch. This is overall a really nice plush with very little inaccuracies. I'd rate him an 8 out of 10. Next up is Toy Bonnie. His accessory is a little guitar that doesn't have a strap, unlike Wave 1 Bonnie's guitar. Dawko said that the strap was actually a health issue, so that's why it was removed. It's really soft and has some nice printing on the front that has some good detail. A really fitting accessory and overall really accurate to the one in game. Now taking a look at Toy Bonnie's face. He also has rosy red cheeks just like Freddy. He has green eyes with pink detailing under it. For some reason, he has really crooked teeth. I don't know if it's just because quality control or just the way it was cut, or it was just design decision. He has really big floppy ears with a piece of cardboard on the bottom half and none at the top to make it floppy. It makes the bottom half stick up, but it also makes the top half look really weird in some places. The drip down ears do make him look really cute though. Taking a look at his body, he has a big red bow tie and a really cute bunny tail. Just like Freddy, he has detailing on his hands. So one big issue that I have with this plush is that if you tilt it back far enough, his head actually falls off. This issue isn't present on the rest of him, and I wonder if it's because the magnet isn't strong enough to hold his head, or if he's just too top heavy. Even just a little bit of force can make his head fall off. Other than that, there's not too many glaring issues with this plush, and for the issues it has, I'm not sure if it's issues for just me or if it's for everyone else. Toy Bonnie has a different material than Freddy, and it's more of a soft and smooth one. Again, another nice plush, and I'd rate him a 7 out of 10. The next plush we're going to be looking at is Toy Chica. Her accessory is her little cupcake. The cupcake is on top of a white plate in which it cannot be removed from. It has little black eyes and a thin candle at the top. It's a small yet adorable accessory for Toy Chica to have. Now moving on to her face, she actually has a removable beak with an animatronic mouth underneath. This is an amazing callback to FNaF 2, and I'm really glad they included it. Looking at her beak, this is one of my least favorite parts of this plush. So on the back it has the magnet, but on the front it's a whole different story. One of her teeth is just sticking out and is longer than the other. This makes it look really ugly and just really off. There's no way to fix this either. And just like the other plush, I am unsure if this is an issue that I have or is it with everyone else. Looking at her face, you can get a better look of her animatronic mouth and her pink cheeks. I really like the detail in the mouth. On top of her head, she has a big feather, hair, well, whatever this thing is, but Whatever it is, they did a really nice job on detailing it. One small issue is that the animatronic mouth is too small for the face, but that's understandable as it needed to fit behind the beak. Putting the beak back on, it just makes it look really disappointing. I'm not really that happy with how the beak looks. I'm not happy with how it looks on her head, and from the sideways, it just really looks weird. I'm probably gonna display this plush without the beak on because it looks so much better that way. I really wish the quality control was better. At least the bib looks really nice and well detailed. I really like the embroidered "Let's Party" on the front. Something I'll point out is that this back, I had to tie it myself because it came untied, and if you don't tie it, it can easily just slide off the plush. Here's a better look of it on Chica and on the back. Another thing to note is that if you lay it down after tying it, the tie can get a little bit messy, so that's why it looks weird. Taking a look at her hand, or well, feathered things, you can see that her tag is actually attached to her hand, which is something I kind of don't like. It just looks really odd, and it's not like the other plushies where it's attached to their head. But looking at her legs, they are really accurate to what she has in game. But since they're designed like this, it makes it really hard for her to stand up. This is also an issue I had with the original Chica HEX plush. If you want her to stand, I recommend you put her up against a wall or something. Looking at the back, she has a thin ducktail with some stitching right next to it. Chica basically has the same soft and smooth texture as Bonnie did. Her design is cute, but sadly the beak just kind of ruins it for me, but taking it off looks so much better. I'd rate this plush a 7 out of 10. Our fourth and final plush is Balloon Boy. He comes with 2 accessories, a big balloon, and a sign that says balloons. Although these accessories fit with the Balloon Boy's character, I don't think they work well as a plush and with the magnets. First off, it's really hard to find the magnet inside of this balloon to put on his hand. You can't really feel for it either because there's no noticeable outline. So when trying to attach it to him, you kind of just have to guess around where it is. And when you do find the magnet, it just doesn't fit on well anyways. The balloon just ends up being too heavy for his hand to hold. So I'll just be putting it off to the side for now. Next up, we have his balloon sign. The first issue I noticed is that the font is just default text. It's not really any special font or anything. It's also missing the exclamation mark at the end of balloons. And honestly, it looks like the exclamation mark should be there, but it's just not. It's just really weird, and the text is pushed to the side too. I just don't know why it's like that. Although it's nice that both of these items are included, I don't think much effort was put into them. And as for the plush itself, it has a smiling face with an orange nose and red cheeks. He has brown hair, and he also has a propeller hat on top of his head. His nose is sticking out of the plush, and it's a soft / kind of hard material. So something disappointing is that this plush was always advertised to have a spinning propeller on his head, but when I try to spin it, it just doesn't really spin. It's really stiff, and you have to use force to spin it, and I'm worried that if I push too hard that it's gonna break. And I'm honestly really sad that this doesn't work as advertised. As you can see from the official HEX account on Twitter, they said yes, his propeller spins, but it just doesn't.
It spins, guys. Balloon Boy's propeller spins.
I'm sorry, Daco, but it just really doesn't, and it doesn't spin good at all. And again, I don't know if it's because of quality control, and I don't know if this is just an issue with mine, but this is really disappointing. I'll talk more about my thoughts at the end of the video. Balloon Boy has sleeves, and they're not printed on or anything, so that's pretty cool. You know, they're sticking out and stuff. He has a striped red and blue shirt with 2 buttons. Another thing that I noticed is the tag is on his arm again, which is something I really just don't like. It just is really weird. He has 2 stubby legs with brown shoes. And again, just like Chica, having the legs designed like this just makes it hard for it to stand, especially with the accessories. I really just want to like this plush, but there are just so many issues with it that I don't know if I can like this. Another issue with mine is that the eyes are just off-centered of the face, so it just makes him look weird. I'm really disappointed with this plush, and I think I'm gonna have to give it a 3 out of 10. So, do I think these plushies are worth the $55 each? Or the $220 if you want the bundle for all of them? The truth is, I don't really know. If we're going to be spending $55 each on these plushies, then I expect them to be top-notch high quality, not just awful quality control. I'm sorry, but this just isn't okay. For the $55 each, there shouldn't be a weird clipped tooth, or falling off heads, or weirdly cut teeth on Chica's beak, or promises that we were going to get a spinning propeller for Balloon Boy's hat, only for it to just not work. If these plushies didn't have all these issues, then I'd love them. I think the magnet gimmick is unique. I think the style of having the button eyes and the stitching is just really cool. And don't get me wrong, the designs are awesome and I love these guys. When we pay so much money, we expect a quality plush, but it seems like little to no care or effort was put into making the quality of these plushies good. I want to keep on supporting Dako, and I want to keep on supporting HEX, but the quality of Wave 4 can't be like this. Another thing I'd like to talk about is the way I was treated by customer support with HEX. They didn't say anything outright rude to me, but what they did was rude. As you can see from this tweet, they are telling people to go email customer support if they have any issues with their order. Back in May of 2022 of last year, I had an issue with the magnets inside of my original HEX plushies. Again, quality control. I wasn't able to properly attach the heads of some of the characters, and I was getting upset about this, so I emailed customer support. As soon as I noticed, I emailed them and I said, "Hey, I just got my HEX plushies today, and I noticed the other heads don't connect to the Bonnie plush correctly. It pushes away, and Bonnie's head doesn't go in any other body. It seems like there's an issue with his magnets." They got back to me and said, "Thank you for reaching out to us, and we're sorry to hear you received a defective item. For our reference, may we have the picture of the item you received? Looking forward to hearing from you." I then showed them the video I just put on screen, and they said, "Thank you for the information. We have reached out to our fulfillment center to get an update about your order, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. We are hoping for your continued patience on this matter." And that was the last I ever heard of them. I decided to email them on November 25th to ask them what happened. They responded 4 days later on November 29th and said, "Thank you for your email. I have made a follow-up with our fulfillment team about your concern. Our fulfillment team is still checking on it. We apologize for the inconvenience, but rest assured that this will be taken care of." It is now January of 2023, and I still haven't gotten a response from their quote-unquote fulfillment team. So when you have bad quality control and bad customer support that won't respond to you, I don't really think that these plushies are worth the $220. Besides the weirdly placed magnet issue I had on Wave 1, I really enjoyed the quality of those plushies. They were well designed and they didn't have as many issues as these did. And what's worse was that they were originally priced at $200, but now they went up by $20. And Dako said on Twitter that it was because the rising price of materials, but it's still really disappointing considering the quality control on these plushies. So do I really think you should spend your money on these guys? If you're someone who wants to mix and match the pieces with the magnets, then yeah, sure, I think these are cool plush to get. Sometimes they can fall apart really easily and they don't stand up well at all, so if you want to put them on display, I don't think you should get them. If you were thinking about getting these plushies, I think you should wait until they make a version without the magnets that's probably going to be cheaper than these. It can be fun creating abominations like this, but it's not really $220 fun. If you have the original Wave 1 of the HEX plushies, then you can mix and match them with the Wave 3 characters, but not many people are going to be able to afford the $400+ price tag to get all of these plushies, $500 including the Fredbear and Spring Bonnie plush. And honestly, the worth of these plushies depend on what you want to do with them. Let me know your opinion down below, and if you're willing to get these plushies. I don't really know if anyone's even going to make it here or if they're even going to comment because this is my first video on this channel and I hope it was good. I mean, I put a lot of effort into it. If you liked the video, please consider liking and subscribing and leaving a comment because that really helps support me and gets my channel out there. I plan to do more reviews in the future, so please look forward to that. Anyways, I don't really have much left to say, so I'll hopefully see you in the next video.